Hello, loves. Hello, hello, hello. Are we on? Are we on live? Hello. Let me know if you're jumping on, whether you're on live or on the replay. I'm going to double check that we're live. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Well, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. I am Lily Newhouse. Today, we are going to be talking about some of the biggest takeaways for 2022, some of the things I learned this year, and I would love to also hear some of the things you guys learned this year in the chat or in the comments. So, yay! Hello, Jamin. Thank you so much for jumping on. It's so good to see you. I miss you. Show me some love if you're on. Whether you're on live or on the replay, hit that like button if you like me. That's how I know. My name is Lily Newhouse. I'm a business and mindset manifestation coach for poker players and entrepreneurs. And today I want to talk about my biggest takeaways from 2022. Some not just business takeaways, but also some big mindset, personal development, awareness takeaways, self-awareness takeaways, like, all of the things that we go through in a year cannot be measured, but they can be learned from, right? So we go through stress, we go through struggle with some years, maybe we go through trauma, grief, right? All of these things. And no matter what the thing is that we are going through, there is an opportunity to learn from it. And sometimes the opportunity is the greatest, the harder the circumstance, right? Sometimes our opportunities to learn are the greatest when things are the hardest. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. And I would love to know if you are on live or on the replay, in the chat or in the comments. Let me know, what is something that you learned this year? What is something you learned? I would love to know. What is something you learned this year? So I want to share with you 3 things that really resonated for me this year, kind of lessons that I felt like I was being sent from some, universal power, right? I was being smacked in the head with some lesson that I was resisting. Maybe, some of the lessons that we learn, we begin by resisting learning them, right? So we might go through something challenging and then we fight the fact that we're going through it in the first place, right? Like lack of acceptance of what we're going through, lack of taking responsibility to move through it, right? Like sometimes we start in these places where we aren't able to move forward and we aren't necessarily able to grab the lessons from the experience right in the moment when we're going through it. And a lot of times reflecting on our experiences and our challenges is what really leads us to learn from them, right? So I want to bring up actually some questions that I think would be really valuable. I talk to my clients, about wrap up for 2022 and all of the things that we've learned, all of the things we want to continue doing, all of the things we want to work on, right? So some of the questions that I love to ask them at this time of year, first of all, is what is your theme for the rest of the year going into the holidays, right? We've worked hard all year. We've manifested a lot of incredible results all year. But the question is, now we have 11 days left in the year, right? What do you want to embody and what do you want your experience to be going forward? I know for me, one of the things I want my experience to be is about being present, right? Not about getting presents, maybe about giving presents, getting presents too, but really being present in the moments, in these special moments where we do have time to slow down, where the world of work starts to slow down a little bit, for people to take time away to celebrate with their families, to be with their kids who might be off school, all those kinds of things. So for me, I know that being present is one of my themes and intentions for the holidays, right? And when we set intentions, we are able to manifest a more intentional experience of what we're actually wanting to see, instead of always responding and creating our experience by responding to stimuli, right? So I think it's important to remember these things. Another thing that I would love to embody over the next week and a half is rest. Self-care, self-compassion, really pouring into my own ability to create energy, to fill my cup so that I can hold space for all of my clients as we go into the new year and really kick off some big projects, some big work, both in my business and for all of my clients' businesses. So another question I love to ask my clients at the end of the year is, as you reflect on this year, what's something you put a lot of energy into that you're ready to let go of? So I'd love for you to tell me in the chat or in the comments, as you reflect on 2022, what's something that you put a lot of energy into that you're ready to let go of? For me, this is a challenging question for me. I think for me, one of the things I put a lot of energy into was being anxious about things that might happen, or just being anxious in general about not being able to control things, about, especially things out of my control, right? And one of the things that I'm really working on is being present, letting go of that, calming my nervous system, taking deep breaths, being present, using distress tolerance skills and emotion regulation skills, and really trying to kind of quell some of that anxious energy and really just be more at peace. So as you reflect on the year, what's something that you put energy into that you want to let go of? I think that's a great question to think about. And then what goals did you set this year that you worked hard towards? And what are you proud of yourself for? I think it's so important to take these moments to celebrate ourselves, our accomplishments, our efforts, the work we've done. We don't always do that, acknowledge and celebrate ourselves. I know for myself, I can be very hard on myself. And so taking a moment to ask myself what I'm proud of myself for, and to look at what there is to celebrate that I've accomplished is really, really goes a long way towards self-esteem, towards confidence, towards perseverance, right? And what's something that you'd like to move to the top of your priority list in 2022? What is something that you have been maybe letting, go to the wayside, or that hasn't been needed to be prioritized this year that you want to bring to the top of your priority list? Yes, no more energy for my ex, none, 100%. I'm curious what that will take from you, because that's another thing that is really important to ask ourselves. In order to let go of energy you've been putting on that, right? And we know that what we focus on expands in our experience, so that we're causing ourselves more suffering when we're focusing on it. What is it going to take from you to release some of the energy you've been putting on it? So I'd love to know what your thoughts are on that. I think that's a good thing to think about. And then if you could pick one word, theme, phrase, focus for 2023, what would it be, and what does it mean to you? So I think that's a really good question to reflect on as well we go through the holidays. You don't have to know that answer right now, but what's a phrase, a theme, something you really want to focus on this year, that's maybe been swirling around in your mind for a while and that you want to really, really focus on, whether it's taking action in the face of fear, or maybe it's being more organized with your time, or, being more present with your kids in the time that you have available to be with them. Or maybe it's, whatever it is, right? It could be anything. It could be really focusing on building habits, right? Any number of things that are right for you. There's no right or wrong answers, right? And it's awesome if you can write some of these things down and put them in a journal or somewhere that you can look back on at the end of the year. I think that's one of the coolest things about setting these intentions. And I think I might even have my book from last year here. Yes, I do. My theme for 2022 was dare to lead yourself and others. I had a list of things I am leaving in 2021 and things I was taking with me into 2022. I created a couple themes for 2022, and even had a song of the year. Then I set goals and intentions for the year, which is really cool to look back on and see what you've accomplished and where you want to focus, right, as you grow more. And then I created a 2022 bucket list. And that, kind of put some quotes in to start the year and stuff. So I think this can be a really good journaling exercise, a really good reflection, really fun way to set some intentions for the year and be able to look back on them, whether that's in a journal for you or a Google Doc or whatever. So, okay, let's see. I'll have to re-engage with the level of emotional detachment that I lived in during my college years. I'll just have to focus it on one person rather than everyone. Yeah, I have a side where I can just completely shut down towards someone emotionally. Yeah, I think kind of using that to your advantage if you know how to do that. You have experience doing it in the past and you're able to kind of chop that off, right? Like sort of like kind of compartmentalizing that and using that as something that you kind of just put in the box of rolling off your back. I think that would really serve you. And I think even if it's something that doesn't happen overnight, knowing that it's something you want to let go of is a huge first step. Really having that awareness that this is some work that you want to do, right? And that it takes work to go through these processes and to heal and to accept and to let go, but it's so worth it, So one of the things I really learned this year in terms of entrepreneurship is you get to build the business that works for you, not the business that works for someone else you're following on social media, right? And this is true of creating content too. And this is true in the poker sphere. This is true in the entrepreneurship sphere, in coaching sphere, manifestation arena, right? Whatever it is that you're in, poker or business, you get to build it in a way that works for you, right? You get to create it in a way that works for you. And part of our creation, right, might be content. And whether it comes to building a business or creating content, when we are going off of and copying off of something that works for other people, we are not finding our own creativity, our own alignment, and what works for us, whether it's in business or drawing in our audience or whatever that is. So really building the format, the business, and the content that works for you and that resonates for you, and not feeling like you have to mirror what other successful people are doing. Right. And then remembering that these things that we're working towards, these goals, these manifestations, these intentions, they take as long as they take, right? We don't have the ability to rush the timeline, rush the universe on what we want. And so really remembering that it's this perseverance that matters, this consistency that matters, this inspired action towards our goals and intentions and visions that are really what matters, right? And then having that acceptance of where we are, of what's happening around us, what we need to take responsibility for, right? When we are in resistance of the things that are around us, we can't take responsibility for how we respond. So we have to start with radically accepting the way things are, right? Whether that's radically accepting how your ex behaves, or radically accepting how your boss behaves, or radically accepting some other circumstance in your life, like the fact that someone will never be who you wish they would be, right? Or radically accepting that something is over for you and it's time to move on to the next chapter, whatever that looks like, right? So we have to radically accept the things we can't change and let go of the things we can control, so we can do what we can and accept, have this acceptance to the path to moving forward. So that's what I wanted to share today. I hope this was valuable. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is my little bit of a 2022 wrap up. We will be on next Tuesday as well for my last live of the year. So I hope you will join me there next Tuesday here, same time, same place. Thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that like button on your